with Joe
No
Biden, Hutton,
fear.
Pulitzer. Yes, no fear.
No fear. Joe Biden has no fear. I know that.
Well, man, if there's anybody who should be having fear, it would be you, because they've come after you. Again, give, send, go. Save the Evidence 2020. And how much is it costing you? Because you do have the ballots from Maricopa County. Everybody says, no, you didn't, but you do. And now maybe other people helped, get all this information together, but you do have those ballots. And that's why, in my opinion, they avoid it like the plague.
Well,
but what does it cost you every month?
Everything we do is about the ballot. So you got to remember, we have a true, accurate digital forensic clone of all the ballots. You can recreate the entire election. This has never been done before in history. So I took a $221,000 contract for the very first time in American history to do a full forensic audit of the Maricopa election, right? In that process, you have to understand, if you go back to like the hanging Chad, that was only 10, 20,000 ballots at a time. We did over 2 million ballots. And so in going into that and realizing what our country was up against, we developed new forensic techniques to investigate this and ended up spending over $3 million. Well, when you look at these servers are running and processing, these darn things cost you about $10,000 a month. And remember, we did the audit 4 years ago. So it's been costing us a pretty penny. We have over $3 million in it. This is how the system breaks down not getting evidence to court. If they can't sue you to oblivion, they try to financially break you. And so we're at the crossroads where I basically say, look, we got to raise about $396,000 to make sure we keep this all through the midterms, because they're going to pull the trigger in the midterms to try to lame duck President Trump. And then they're going to impeach him again. And so this is just not for keeping the forensic evidence for President Trump, for potential court trials, for the Supreme Court. We will ultimately give it to the Trump Presidential Library. So in the future, any type of researcher can recreate the entire election in Maricopa County, and they'll probably find even more things than we found.
All right.
It's unbelievable.
I'm going to put that into layman terms here, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jovan. You've got images, multiple images, of every ballot from Maricopa County.
Every single ballot.
Okay.
189 million voted ovals. We've got actually over 40 million proof files. It's the largest, most detailed forensic investigation, period, and the most significant investigation, history-breaking investigation of elections in world and U.S. history.
Okay, now hold on. This is important.
Okay.
You've got possession of those files, of those documents.
That's correct. They're kept very secure.
Exactly. And ladies and gentlemen, if you think about, say, iCloud or something like that, where you store your photos from your phone, he is storing this stuff in an extremely secure cloud, okay, if I can use that term loosely.
Well, it's actually 3 locations that we do this. We have to keep them in triplicate. We got to keep them in perfect chain of custody, and it's over 200 times the size of the Library of Congress.
Okay, wrap your head around that, everybody. This is costing this man $10,000 a month. Am I correct?
That's correct. That's
why we have a give, send, go up here.
Well, we look. I have never run a fundraiser. Never did it for any of our work. That was not for our work, and we held on basically now for 4 years. But when things happen and you're 4 years into it for a simple contract that you did, and you keep on personally funding this, you eventually hit a wall. The system drove us to a wall. Now we need help.
All right, and let's go to, go ahead and say what you want to say, and then let's go to full screen where you guys can see this give, send, go.
Well, what I'm saying is, and people don't realize Maricopa County is bigger than, 32, 33 states?
It is
huge.
The 4th largest county in the United States, the 2nd largest voting block of people in the United States, and its voting block is larger than most states.
Okay, so now let's talk about this Judge Colleen Cotelli. How does a judge say that you cannot verify citizenship in a federal election even? Because it's in the Constitution, isn't it?
Well, it's
The Bill of
racist.
Rights.
What do you think?
Well, yeah, that's true. Everything's racist.
It's a con. This is Con Inc. Look, if you got to remember, the Democrats never yelled about it's the machines. Oh my God, they got the PCAPs. What did they complain about? You can't stop drop boxes. You can't stop mail-in voting. You can't ask people for an ID. That's racist. This is where judges believe they have more power than the president of the United States. But this is the unique situation where you understand the president of the United States can only make things done in federal elections, not in state elections. And this is part of how Con Inc. and the rig works. And that's why the judge will make these types of rulings. Let me give an example. I'll compare it to the audit. We know that Epstein was bad. We know that the system has the names. We know that a con is going on and they don't want to release it. Conversely, on the other side, for the Maricopa full forensic audit, it's we the people that have the evidence, and we can force the government. And that's why they're trying as hard as they can to make it never come to light, never see any of the courts, and hoping that they break us and make it go away, because we the people own the information. Unlike Epstein files, the government has it. We don't play that shell game.
All right, I want to know, how can they change voting laws? I mean, I know it was COVID and all this other stuff. All of a sudden we got drop boxes. All of a sudden we got everybody gets mail-in voting and everything else like that. But that was for COVID. It seems like as soon as a law gets in and you backslide that far, nothing ever gets pulled back.
No, anytime they make changes, I'll give you an example. Under the COVID rules, under that people are going to die, we have to save them, they basically pulled a con in Maricopa. Instead of going to 750 places to vote, because we're so worried about you catching something, just go to these 200 places. Mm-hmm. Well, since they did that and called them vote centers to move it in, they've never changed it back. Now, here's why. It used to be small precincts. The precincts knew the voters. Everything was counted at the precinct. You could look at 750 individual places doing things. When they jammed them together to 200, not only did it confuse the numbers, but they did one other twist. Any precinct can go to any one of these 200 places. And that's how they hide it in the numbers. And that's why they're terrified of forensics, because the forensics is the only thing that takes it right back to the individual precinct. That's why they're running scared.